How do I even do this review? Hello, my Blando Shatters. My name is Sebastián, and we'll go to another episode of Seba Reviews. It's so difficult to cover it all, but what I will do is mention some details and some characters and my feelings on them. Spoilers are abound, of course. This show was interesting because I had no idea what this was about. I thought it was a new game show from Netflix. Then I read and heard the basic premise, and I was like, oh. But still not clear what it was. Is this a drama or reality show? I would hope it wasn't. It was confusing, but I kept hearing buzz about it, people are getting into it, so I thought I would give it a shot. And oh my god, the beginning of the show kept me interested in what this is. Meeting our protagonist Sung Ji-hoon and his story. That beginning, at first it wasn't bad, but I was like, I want to know what this Squid Game is about. The first ever scene of the show explains what the Squid Game is about, but I was just as confused as I was going to the show. The first 30 minutes are good in setting up the characters and motivations, but once we see the actual plotline of the game, the mechanics and everything, that's when it gets really compelling to me. But without the setup, the moment we start off with the student recruiter, which I liked a lot by the way, I know he's from Train to Busan, would not have been as effective without seeing Ji-hoon's life. Maybe it didn't need to be that long, but it was necessary to see his life. Once we got to the meat of the show, that's when it gets better and better. Getting to learn about the game, but not really knowing what's going on. Who are these people? Why are they doing this? It's so good in sucking me into this world and trying to unravel the mystery. But also from things we know, like seeing the players and all have something in common. But there's also a lot of mystery in there with finding out what is the depth or reasoning why certain characters are there. Some don't even know their names or much about their story till later or never. The whole build up there, meeting the other characters, but not really knowing who's going to be the main cast or who are supporting characters. But just seeing these interactions and dialogue is amazing. What I will say now, what I love about H Entertainment is that even minor characters get a ton of development, backstories, moments to shine. Even someone who was there for just 5 minutes and dies, I found to have some development and investment. The characters are just astounding, but I will talk about them a little bit. The build-up leading towards the first game is amazing, and seeing it happen was a jaw-dropper. I was expecting death to happen, of course, but it still caught me with a shocking reaction. It's so grim and raw that you're like, how is this game even happening? Because even beforehand, you get a sense that this organization is grim, but you're wondering if they have some good intentions? You can even say that? But people die and they do not care. Seeing that first game is intense and entertaining, and the consequent ones are just as good as well, with each one racking up and impact going harder. As you get to know the characters more and the games are getting more brutal. The fourth game is heartbreaking, which goes along with the whole tone of episode 6. That episode is the most tense-filled and emotional one of the entire series. What I also love about the show is how it keeps unraveling bit by bit about this organization. Seeing how they work, the rigid instructions and schedules. Basically, the soldiers don't have a life. The hierarchies, the front man, later knowing about some rogue soldiers and that one player that's working with them, and then the VIPs. The story's so well done, how they keep having you invested with the mystery is amazing. Sung Ji-hoon is such an awesome character. At first it could have been grating, but as it goes along, even by the first episode, I started warming up to him more. As it progresses, you see more layers of him, see growth on him, and it's incredible. He's funny, he's very polite and caring, and such a warm, great human being. Having Chung Sang-woo there is obviously a very convenient coincidence, but his story and character arc is incredible as well. Seeing how he goes from the likable character, who's the most competent and a genius, slowly becoming a ruthless, conniving killer was so well done. I went from liking him, being apprehensive about him, to straight up hating him. Kansei-byuk, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, it's also a convenient coincidence from how she met Ji-hoon from the beginning, but it worked out because of the connection they had before the game, and how their relationship grows and bonds throughout the entire show. She's also a fantastic character with a lot of mystery, but you get to see some hidden emotional layers from her. She was also very smart and super competent. I loved her so much. Ali was also such a sweet and kind character that I enjoyed a lot. He sometimes was a little too gullible for me, especially at the end for him, but he was just too kind and believed the best of everyone there. His death was so sad to me. They never confirmed this, or I don't know, maybe it's a plot hole. But are their bodies in the gift boxes sent to the families? I think that's what it is. I don't know, let me know if that's correct, but it's sad nonetheless. The character I was so fond of for so many reasons was the character of In-ho, the old man. He was so sweet, was so kind. I love how Ji-hoon wanted to help him out throughout most of it, which is why when he turned to him in the last game before he died, it was so heartbreaking. I loved him, but something with him though, we'll talk about that. Deok-soo was interesting, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, because I thought he'd be an asshole character from the initial moment we saw him. But then when we see him leave the game, I thought he would develop into a bad guy, but with a heart of gold. But no, he becomes a super ruthless piece of shit killer, and I couldn't wait for him to die. But he was also compelling in a way. He kept living on and on. I was just so invested in seeing the rest of his journey, how it was going to play out. Minya was also a surprise for me, because when we first see her, I thought she was just going to be a minor character that would appear for 1 or 2 scenes, and that was it. But she evolved into a main cast member, which is awesome because I did not expect that. But it kind of resulted in some mixed feelings for me. She's someone that wants to survive no matter what. But the way she executes those survival instincts in a lot of situations are so annoying. Putting others down, siding with whoever works for her, screaming. But in other moments where she helps and she's a little toned down, I liked her. So she was mixed for me. Even her death with Dexu was pretty cool. Even some characters that arrive halfway through the show are great. Like the woman that was chosen for the tug of war game, I forgot her name. Couldn't find her name, but she was so good. And I felt for her when it was between her life and Sebyuk's life. She even had one moment to have a tragic backstory, and it is tragic. Even the pastor guy was interesting with morality. Junho was a complete badass, uncovering the truth of the organization, trying to find his brother. He was so smart in every move. Well, maybe not every move. And I love seeing him just do his job. I mean, sometimes he goes a little bit over the lines of being a cop. You know, he's like murdering people cold-blooded and shit. I'm like, I don't know if that's what a cop would do, but I mean, well, he's not supposed to do. But anyway, I just love his journey and everything he did. It was awesome. And his death was very unfortunate, but quite realistic. Even the frontman, as we find out later who he is, I kind of figured it out maybe an episode before the reveal or maybe during that episode. But he was great and complex. He was not just a one-note villain. Still no idea what's up with him. Maybe he won one year, or maybe he was so good that he was recruited to run the actual games. Some of these people, including him, seem brainwashed. I don't know, it's very unclear. I love how the show can be real with some character decisions and how some things turn out. Because by episode 2, the majority decides not to play, which can be super real, and the way they came back was very organic. But even the rules of the game was very interesting, seeing like how it works out and just finding everything, like how everything functions is great. We don't know exactly why it works this way, but it's just cool how imaginative. It was just very cool concept all around, from like the organization through the actual games. The ending of the show was the weakest part for me. It wasn't a complete downgrade, but would have preferred other things. In-host reveal was interesting, but kind of took the impact of his death, which that death caught me really hard. I mean, I stayed up all night watching through like episode 6, and I was so invested in what was going on, and that death impacted me hard. I was like, I need to go sleep after this? Jesus Christ. But also understanding kinda why he did it was interesting, but there's just not enough there to understand everything that's going on. So he was bored and he wanted to see some games being played. Okay, I can see that in other movies and shows with similar premise, but in here, it just seemed too simplistic for me. With a show that otherwise has been dealing with different complex things with characters and the writing. Did he want to prove something about human morality? That maybe some can be good, or maybe not everyone is a good person? I don't know. Maybe they want to save it for season 2. Which that's another thing. It would have been better if this remained as a one-season show with a definitive conclusion instead of just expanding it to multiple seasons. But if they have a larger story they want to tell, then by all means. As long as it's not stretched and forced and it's only done because it's like a financial success or whatever, or get some money, then just don't do it. And the ending itself was, I don't know. So Ji-hoon's going back to play to cover them? Is that what he's doing? Minor issues that I found. 1, the American actors in Asian entertainment are still horrible. Maybe the writing didn't help much either, which maybe Asian actors know how to convey this dialogue so much better, which otherwise could be just ridiculous and cheesy dialogue. But these VIP guys were horrible, except for maybe one of them. 2, Ali not remembering why Sang-woo was in the game when he was there to see his story unfold on screen for everyone to see made no sense. And this organization preaches how everybody is treated as equals, but by the 5th game they tampered with the game? What? But overall, the show is fantastic, excellently written, incredible concept, astounding characters and acting. It was entertaining with a lot of depth and emotion, sometimes not knowing how it would go. Well, many times you would see how it would go. I love this show, and I haven't been absorbed by a show in a good while. I'm gonna give Squid Game a 9 out of 10. It was a solid incredible, amazing, fantastic show. So I guess I'm looking forward to season 2 and see what that's about. What do you guys think of Squid Game? Did you like the show? Do you not like the show? Do you think it could have been better? Was it bad? Let me know what you think. Are you excited for season 2? Or are you just like me where you think this should have been a one-time thing? Let me know what you think and let's talk about it. And if you like my review, please give a like, share, subscribe for more reviews or different kinds of content like reactions, podcasts, you name it. Wherever you want is probably here or I'm gonna make it. So my name is Sebastián Sierra y yo seguiré aquí hablando shit.